Hello everyone, it's Jen from Creative Housewives, and today I'm going to teach you how to make your own cutaway cards that you can use with your Cricut machine, and you can make them in any color combination that you want. Let's jump right in and learn how. Okay, so to create a cutaway card, the first thing that we need to do is I need to add a shape here onto my mat that is the same size as my card. So my card is, so we're going to come up here to our size in the top toolbar. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click unlock. The width is 5.5 and our height is 4.25. 4.25. I'm going to hit enter. And that has our card laid out for us. And now that is actually, I want mine to be vertical. So I'm going to do 4.25 by the 5.5. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make this, I'm using not that color green. Let's see if I can find something that is closer to the color. It's kind of like an aqua-y, maybe a little more, not quite that dark, whatever, that's fine. You get it, what it looks like. It's just kind of a general. I'm just using, so I'm using the, what is the name of it? It's just the Cutaway Cards, apparently. They didn't name this particular set, but it has the deep teal color. So I'm using that as like my green. So, okay, so now the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to images, and then up here I'm going to say pot of gold. And then I want something that's kind of simple. Okay, so I like this pot of gold here. So I'm going to add this to the canvas. And then I'm going to delete off the majority of it. So I'm going to come here. And now I want to keep the gold, but I don't want the words. And I don't need the shamrocks. I just want the pot and the gold. All right. So now I want to resize this. I want this to be much smaller. Maybe not that small. So 1.0. Okay. So now if I lay this on here, I can duplicate it. I'm actually going to line them up on the grid so I can see it. I'm going to go ahead and select them all. We're going to go ahead and align them center vertically so they're all the same height up and down. And then I'm just going to slide them to where I want them. So they can be, you know, 4 inches wide. So I've got them at 3.597 right now. So I can make them a little wider, spread apart. Okay, so now if I select all these, let's see what they look like here on the, okay, I think that looks really good. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to take this little grouping, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to group them. And then I'm going to duplicate that group. So I've got another set of 3. And then we'll duplicate it again. All right, so now I've got my guys here. So now what I can do is I can select all of these layers and I can say align center horizontally. So now they're all, you know, centered left to right here on my thing, on my card base itself. And I think they look pretty good spacing wise. I think that might be just a touch down. All right, and now I have room that I can write something down here. So I can come to like images. And let's this time look for like lucky. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, I'm going to add it to the canvas, but I'm going to get rid of the shamrock portion because I just want the lucky. So I can click there, I can delete that. We can change this to gold. And then I can resize it so that it fits without. I do want to align that. Okay, so you can see like it's fitting without running into any of my black pieces, my pots. Okay, so now what I want is I want all of these gold pieces here to be cut out of the green. And I want the lucky and that. So I want those to be cut out of the green. So what I need to do is I need to take my groups here and I need to, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this group and I'm going to duplicate it one more time and I'm going to move it over here. So these are going to be my extras that will come into play in a moment. I don't want them resized, so I need them to be the exact same size. All right, so now what I'm going to do with these ones over here is I'm going to take my black portion, my pot, I'm going to click that, I'm going to come up here to basic cut, and I actually want to deboss that instead of having it cut, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to do that for each one of these really quick. Okay, so now I have all of these little portions are a deboss. If you do not have a maker, you can get a similar look by using the scoring tool. So you could turn this into like a score line. All right, so I've got this. So now what I want to do is I want to select all of this and I want to attach it. So now it's attached. So what I have is I have cut lines for lucky. I have cut lines for the gold pieces. And then I have a deboss for all of my pots. So now what I can do over here on this group is I don't need any of my gold pieces because that's already going to be on the thing. But I do want to cut out the black pieces. So what I want for my finished product, for my finished project, is I want my card. So I'm going to have my card, which actually I can hide this square or rectangle because I just need this. So now I have these and I can duplicate them and it doesn't really matter where they are. I just need to duplicate them. And what I'm going to have now is I will have a card that is going to cut all of my gold pieces. And then it's going to deboss where my pot is. So when I click make it, what I can do is I want to say I want to do it on a card mat. And then that's going to confuse this portion. So this one, I'm going to say just on mat for those. But then I have this here on my card mat. So now you can see that this is laid out on the card mat and then it will cut the black out on a separate sheet so I can have that layered look and add the pot on top. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this for my project copies. I'm going to up it to 4. So I have all of the pots that I need and then I will have 4 cards that are being cut out. So now we can select continue. We'll go ahead and connect to our machine and then we will jump on to the next portion. Before we actually get to cutting out our design, we need to create our cutaway cards. So Cricut actually sells cutaway cards, but I wanted to try creating my own because I wanted to use a green color for this project. So I'm using a Tombow tape runner. And as you can see, I'm just putting it on the inside of my card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little insert piece, and this can be kind of whatever you want. I'm using a piece that came from a cutaway card kit, and you want to lay it down so that the design part is what's going to stick to the adhesive. I like to lay it down on the part that doesn't have any adhesive, line it all up, so then you can just fold that top over, rub it down really well. And now we have a cutaway card created that we can add right to the card mat, which makes it easier to use. So I'm just going to load all of the cards into the card mat. You can see I'm using 3 that I made myself, and then I am using 1 Cricut Cutaway card because I want to be able to show kind of the difference there. We need to move all of our rollers to the middle so that they don't run over our card mat anywhere. And then because of the card that I'm using the Cricut Maker, and my design calls for the deboss tool. So you add that tool in first. If you don't have a maker, you can do the same thing with the scoring tool in like the Explorer machines and things like that. So now we take out the deboss tool, we're going to put in our just normal fine point blade, and then that's going to go through and it's going to cut out all of the parts that need to be cut, which is great. We'll just be able to have all of those pieces cut out. And then once that is done, we'll go ahead and get this all unloaded so that we can proceed by adding the black mat or the black cardstock that is on just a regular light grip mat. We'll add that to the Cricut machine and it will cut out all of our pots for us. I do like to spread my star wheels back out when I'm not using the card mat. I think it just does a great job at kind of helping the mat and the paper transfer into the machine. Like it just loads it in smooth so it stays nice and straight. So now that that's cutting and it's done, we can go ahead and unload and work on the weeding. So I am weeding the actual Cricut brand cutaway card first. You can see I'm just using a weeding tool, and most of the time all I have to do is just get it under a little bit there in the corner, and then their cutaway cards work really well to just being able to like pull up the whole piece. My design does have a lot of those little I don't know what you'd call them, little star type things. And so that takes just like a little bit longer to get out. So this is the cutaway card that I created, and it looks very similar to the Cricut Cutaway card. I will say that I think the Tombow tape runner, the adhesive is maybe just a little stronger than what I would normally want. It does stick down really well and it does come up, but it can cause just a little bit of sticking, where I did not run into that at all with the Cricut, whatever the adhesive that they use on their cutaway cards, but it just sometimes the card stock itself will kind of peel a little bit. And so you can see they both look really good. They both turned out really well. We got the same general look, and I'll let you know just kind of some of the other things that I think about it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use I like art glitter glue, but whatever glue that you like to use, and we're going to adhere all of our little pots. That's why I love the deboss tool or the scoring tool, because you know exactly where your pieces need to sit. So I was able to really quickly add all of the pots to my cards without any problem at all, because those debossing lines are already there. So they show you exactly just where you need to line it up without having any weird cut lines or anything like that. And I love having that extra layer. I just think it's fun. I like to do layered card paper projects, and I think that that's a really good fun look. You don't need a lot of adhesive at all. These just kind of stick on and hold right in place. So I do want to show, I think you can see just a little bit where in my green card, you can kind of see, it looks almost like there's some scratching on the gold. And I'll show you right here, like on the U right there, you can see it looks almost like there's some scratching. It's actually not. That's just a little bit of adhesive stuck to the gold there. So if you have one of those adhesive erasers, then that would be really easy just to go over that section, remove all that adhesive, and you'll have a beautiful card. If you have any questions about creating your own cutaway cards, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer those for you. And if you don't already, make sure you subscribe. Have a great day.